Hello everybody, John Craig here with Performance Plus Tennis. In today's lesson, we're going to address a question from one of our loyal YouTube subscribers who asked the question, should I be pronating on my slice serve, and to what extent should I be pronating? And pronation is a very interesting topic on the serve. It's a very hot topic. We've really discovered in slow motion photography and videography in the recent years that pronation is a key component of the serve motion, which was never really discussed years and years ago, certainly not when I was learning the serve and growing up as a kid. So how much do we pronate? What is pronation? How valuable is it? Do we do it on the slice serve? Do we not do it on the slice serve? We're going to address all that and more in today's lesson. So first of all, let's just clarify what pronation is and what it isn't, because there's a lot of confusing information about pronation. And pronation really is the action of rotation from your shoulder in your whole arm. It's also referred to as long axis rotation from the shoulder. It can be confused with wrist snap. It can be confused with flicking the forearm, all these things. But the power behind the pronation really is originating in your shoulder. So when you rotate your core around and you come into it and you hold your body and you extend, the whole arm rotates as a unit. And that really is what pronation is. Now, some people call it wrist snap, and there is wrist movement. But the wrist movement, just to be clear, is not a flick or a snap. It is where the wrist goes from this position to this position inside the rising part of the swing. Right in here, the racket is getting to an extended position of the wrist. And once it gets there, that's where the shoulder takes it through and rotates it over. And you really need to have pronation in your serve. And of course, in order to do that, you have to have a continental grip. Separate topic, but you got to have a continental grip in order to really pronate on your serve. The value of pronation is it creates easy racket head speed, because when we're serving, we're trying to generate more speed in the racket head than our arm is able to achieve by itself. We've got to get the racket head to move quickly through contact. And the only way that that can occur is if we get up to the extension and we rotate through the shoulder. And that's going to give you your pronation. Now, we're seeing pros pronate virtually on every single serve. And the question is, how much should I be pronating on the slice? Because probably is going to be less pronation. But pronation, really, what we see in pronation is the racket's going from attacking the ball on edge. So think of this as a machete, and think of this as like an orange. It looks like I'm going to cut that ball right in half, but as I extend my arm up to make contact, the pronation takes over and the racket rotates from edge to contact. And the momentum of that causes this. So I don't want you to think so much about what you do after contact, because that really is a byproduct of what you bring to the ball. So when you're attacking it on edge and you're coming up on edge and you pronate through, that momentum is going to cause the racket to turn over. But your intention should be to extend and take it from the edge to the ball. And then the pronation after that will be a byproduct. So if you're hitting a slice serve, you're going to be wanting to hit the ball a little bit more on the side. So naturally, there's going to be a little less action from the edge to square. You're not going to get totally square on it. You're actually going to come up and cut slightly across the ball. The difference would be just a little here to there. And you're just going to be cutting across the ball a little bit. The 3 o'clock side is the feeling you're going to have. But you're still going to come up and cut across the 3 o'clock side, and the racket will turn over and it will still pronate, but probably to a lesser degree. But I wouldn't overthink that, because the ball's already gone and the action you've put on the ball has already been created. So don't think about trying to pronate too much on the slice. It'll happen by itself, because it has to. Because if you didn't pronate at all and you have a continental grip, you'd literally hit the ball with the edge of your racket. So you will naturally pronate, and then what happens after that will be a byproduct of that motion. Now, to clarify, pronation on the slice serve, there are some coaches out there that say that pronation does not actually happen, that the racket actually feels like it curls around the ball and comes in like this. Problem with that is that you'll minimize your racket speed to the ball, trying to do that. And the other problem with that is potentially hyperextending your elbow. Because if you just throw it out there and bring it down like this, and you don't rotate over, you can't bend your arm and protect your elbow. So be very careful about that, because you don't want to be snapping into and hyperextending your elbow by attempting to hold the angle like that. Ooh, that would be terrible, right? So you've got to let the racket go and let it turn over and let your elbow bend. And that will protect your arm as well and allow the racket to have more racket head speed. So if you look at pros in slow motion, and virtually almost all of them are hitting some degree of slice on their first serves, they're all pronating. They're all turning it over. Nobody is coming through and holding that edge underneath like that. So be careful and replace that, if that's what you're trying to do, with the actual pronation that we're looking for. So to conclude, pronation is a key component of a professional quality swing, regardless of the type of serve that you're attempting to hit. I hope you'll take these tips and ideas to the court, work on your serve. Leave your comments down below. Leave your questions. I'll answer those in a future video, or I'll reply back. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Stick around, we've got a lot more coming here at Performance Plus Tennis. Thanks for watching today's lesson, and we'll see you in the next video.